Bloom Boys. The movie begins with Tosin Akintola, who is a music artist manager, an upcoming artist, and also an app developer. He is sleeping peacefully between two ladies in the hotel room when he receives a shocking call from his sister, Kemi Akintola, who has just been arrested and is in police custody for a murder case. Murder case? By morning, everyone around town had seen the most shocking news of the moment. Which kind of amebo these people they observe? This early momo, eh? Meanwhile, Mrs. Okafor, a billionaire woman and the mother of the deceased, walks into her office that morning and is greeted with the shocking news that her son has just been murdered in cold blood. Man, this is painful, oh. She breaks down in tears. That morning, Tosin hurries to the police station to know the situation of things. When he arrives at the police station, he begins to create a scene at the counter, demanding to see his sister. Well, he gets into the investigating room and is puzzled at why Kemi had to do what she did. Kemi begins to narrate what happened. Omo, grab your popcorn or your roasted corn as I give you the full gist of how it all happened. Mr. and Mrs. Akintola are Tosin and Kemi's parents. Mrs. Akintola is a wealthy woman and is more financially buoyant than her husband. She owns a reputable fashion outfit in Lagos. Mrs. Akintola complains at every little thing that her husband does, just because he is not as wealthy as she is. Mrs. Akintola also influences her daughter, Kemi, to never settle for any man wey no hold ground. She claims it is her ticket to happiness and peace of mind. Okay, I hope she finds one though. Now, Mr. Akintola, on the other hand, is a peace-loving gentleman who doesn't like wahala at all. In fact, he is always trying to avoid problems with his wife at all costs. One day, Kemi goes to a perfume store to get some stuff. When she meets this popular, handsome young billionaire, Dozie Okafor, Kemi is already crushing on this guy. He looks like full option. Factory fitted. Yeah, now, while Dozie is about to pay for his perfume, he realizes that his wallet is missing. It has been stolen by a lady who dashed into him earlier. Anyways, Kemi offers to settle his bill, and Dozie thanks her warmly. Who said it is only men that settle women's bills? They play. Anyways, Kemi buys her stuff and hurries out to meet Dozie, who is now outside. They exchange pleasantries and contacts, and Dozie even asks Kemi out for an appreciation dinner later that night. By evening, we see the two in a fancy restaurant, but the restaurant is empty to show that Dozie ain't playing. He reserved the restaurant just for the both of them. Bayi, Agbabola. They discuss as they eat the food in front of them, getting to know each other better. But what Kemi doesn't know is that Dozie is a short-tempered man, and we see this as a bartender serves his wine inappropriately. Dozie para for the guy, insult my man join, and even threaten to make him lose his job. It's just a small anger issue, Kemi must have thought. Anger issue. Okay now. Tosin has a friend who is also a tech bro. His name is Derek. Derek has been working on an app for a while now. The app that is about to change his life story. Derek has tried and tried to make this app work. And even after many failed attempts, my guy didn't give up. He grinds till it works. Mr. Akintola is bothered about Tosin's joblessness. He demands an answer from Tosin as to why he's not making any attempt to find something to do, as it is with many tech bros. They look unemployed until when they hit it, and then they show you that they've not been unemployed. That's the story of Tosin. Normally, Tosin na soft guy, no pressure. Even though the news of Kemi's newfound lover is all over the blogs already, Kemi didn't tell her mother about it. Anyway, in this internet age, you can't hide anything for long. Kemi's mother discovers the news somehow. Kemi opens up and tells her mother about her newfound billionaire lover. Kemi's mother is so excited about this news because it is what she has always wanted for her daughter. They are already imagining a lavish wedding party. Amber things, So much for a man she just met. Well, let's see how all this goes. Dozier's mother is a successful billionaire businesswoman who doesn't believe in failure. She is willing to give Dozie enough money to push his business. O'Shea, mommy's boy. Dozie didn't have to speak too much grammar to get her to sign him a check of 20 freaking million naira. In no time, Dozie and Kemi are already in love with each other. She visits him more often. They even make out, and Kemi wakes up to breakfast in bed. Kai, God when. Dozier seems to be a sweet boy. One evening, Dozier decides to join Kemi's family for an exclusive dinner. Big man life, sha. Seafood. Hey, Mr. Akintola is not so comfortable with Dozier, especially after Dozier reprimands a staff that tries to serve him inappropriately. Dozier gave the staff premium insult in front of Kemi's family. Omo, the guy no send anybody papa. But even after what happened at the dining table, Mrs. Akintola is still hell-bent on her daughter marrying a billionaire. So she's not even interested in anything Mr. Akintola has to say concerning Dozier's awkward behavior. Women sha. Now what? Mr. Akintola wants to know what his son's career plans are. He wants Tosin to get a business degree and find a proper job. But Tosin is more interested in his music career than anything else. He convinces his father to believe him. And of course, his father is left with no choice. After all, he wants the best for his only son. One night, Dozier takes Kemi to a club to meet his friends. Boss wants to show off his girl to his friends. But things go awkward when Kemi seems to be giving Dozier's friend more attention than he deserves and even hands him a business card. Hey, someone's gonna see crazy in a bit. The look on Dozier's face. Man, this guy is infuriated already. To make matters worse, Kemi accepts to dance with Dozier's friend. Wahala. Home training in the mud, bro. This looks like adding petrol to fire. Dozier didn't take this lightly at all. He deals with Kemi severely after the club, leaving her with a black eye. Meanwhile, even though Derek has successfully created his app, finding profitable investors was one hell of a frustration for him. Derek even tells Tosin that he is willing to give up everything even if it's just for chicken change. This guy's app is so good, bro. It has a lot it can do. Think about an app that digitalizes livestock farming and lots more. Anyway, thank God for good friends. After Derek narrates everything to Tosin, Tosin offers to partner with him on the terms of getting 85% shares from the profits. After the premium beating Kemi got from her boyfriend, Mrs. Akintola gets to know what transpired between Kemi and Dozier, and instead of cautioning her daughter to keep off, she encourages Kemi to remain in the relationship. After all, we need to make sacrifices for the ones we love, especially for a handsome billionaire. Sacrifices, bawo. But anyhow, sha, in this life, do what? Have money, my brother. You get why? Few days later, Dozier apologizes to Kemi over what happened by sending her flowers and inviting her to lunch, promising never to repeat such an act ever again. Kemi goes to see Dozier again. Things went sour. Dozier had seen a picture of Kemi and the client that Dozier's friend introduced her to. Kemi claims that it was the fault of the camera angle. This really cracked me up, oh. You go explain tire, my dear. Dozier gets infuriated again and even calls her a cheating slut. This guy's anger can boil yam. Kemi is willing to help her brother and his friend get investors that could help invest in their app. Tosin is excited about this news and wants to give her a high five. But then, she freaks out. Tosin notices this and asks her if everything is okay. She says she's fine, but we all know she's not. In her own way of helping, Kemi links Tosin up with her mother's financial advisor, who apparently came to the house for a meeting with Mrs. Akintola. After hearing all that Tosin has to say about the app, she exchanges contacts with Tosin and promising to give him an opportunity to pitch it to the board of the company she works for. Things are beginning to get brighter for my guy. Dozier's true personality is now glaring. He shouts and screams and gets furious over every single thing that doesn't go well. He's about to lose another contract worth millions and needs 150 million naira if he must secure the contract. Kemi, who is with him in the room, tells him that her family has no assets worth that amount of money, but her mom has a property that's close to that amount. Dozier begs that they sell it and refund the money before Kemi's mom notices. Even if na juju, don't blame her anyway. Tosin and Derek meet with a group of investors willing to invest in their app. In this scene, we see Tosin delivering an excellent proposal on the features of the app. Boy, this guy is eloquent and smart. The guy too sabi, no cap. The investors give him 3 mouth-watering offers. He declines all and gives them time to reconsider their options. Derek is not getting the hang of why Tosin keeps declining the offers, but Tosin lets him understand everything as they go down the elevator after the meeting. Business has really been going bad for Dozier, and he's about to lose another business deal. Kemi decides to help a man, even at the expense of her brother's career. Now, while Tosin is taking his bath one evening, Kemi enters his room and steals the source code for the app, delivering it to Dozier, who drives away immediately without any form of gratitude. Now for this dossier guy, yo. A while later, the financial advisor calls a meeting with Tosin and Derek. She tells them to accept the 3.5 million offer with 5 years licensing from their investors because another company is about launching an app with similar features. Another company, buy. Well, it happens to be Dosier's company. Damn. He wants to reap these guys after all their hard work. On hearing this, Tosin confronts Kemi, who tells him to just leave the app for Dossier, who is passing through hard times. Are you playing? Bro is not happy about this at all. The next day, Tosin double-crosses Dossier on the street, interrogating him and boiling furiously. He's surely not intimidated by Dossier's muscular structure. Imagine an ant confronting an elephant. Well, that's not the issue now. Tosin is only fighting for his right. Kemi is puzzled about what Tosin's next move is going to be. She asks Dossier how he intends to go about it, but he tells her not to worry, that he has it sorted out. In the middle of their conversation, things went totally off when she mentions that she's pregnant. Dossier asks her to get rid of the pregnancy. For why? This shocks Kemi. Kemi tries to let him see reasons for her to keep the pregnancy, but she makes a grave mistake by mentioning Dossier's mother in her speech. Dossier gets infuriated. He pounces on her again, beating her mercilessly, even stamping her with his foot. He leaves her lying helplessly on the ground. Really sad and cruel. This man, na beast. Kemi wakes up 2 days later to find herself in the hospital. She had been rushed in by an unknown man. In the hospital, the doctor breaks the news to Kemi that she lost her baby, has a fractured rib, and also a ruptured uterus, which has narrowed her chances of giving birth. After Kemi partially recovers, she finds her way to Dossier's house again. But this time, her jaw drops as she finds him with 2 damsels in his bedroom. She couldn't believe her eyes. I think at this point, her eye don't clear. Meanwhile, Kemi's parents haven't seen her in a few days and are worried about their missing child. Mr. Akintola thought of involving the police, but then his wife stops him. She is more concerned about the reputation of her business and says involving the police will be bad for business. You can imagine. Eventually, Kemi returns home, looking battered. Kemi alleged that Dossier took her for a surprise vacation. Surprise vacation, ko. Surprise vacation, ni. Her mother tries to defend her even though Mr. Akintola could sense that everything is not right. Where's her luggage? Where's her phone? Why is there a plaster on her hand? Evidence choke, bro. We are now in Kemi's room. Mrs. Akintola is still talking about sacrifices and endurance, so not until Kemi reveals to her that she sold her property in Eco Atlantic just to help Dossier raise money. Her mother is in shock. She can't believe her ears. But I thought we were talking about sacrifices now. Kemi's mother gets a heart attack and is hospitalized. All the drama that ensued plays in Kemi's head. She is traumatized and is eventually losing her mind. She is seen behaving like person who gets koi. Kemi braces herself up. She wouldn't let Dossier go scot-free. She goes to his house with food. My guy is happy. If only he knew that the food is a trap. Kemi had drugged the food before coming to his house. After eating the food, Dossier wakes up a while later in a dark room, tied to a chair. A scene as amazing as this should not be wasted. So Kemi brings out her phone to record the moment. She vents her anger on him and brings out a gun. She gives the first shot, but missed it. While yelling at Dossier, she accidentally pulls the trigger for the second time, and that was the end of her billionaire boyfriend. Anyway, some mistakes can't be undone, unfortunately. Kemi regrets her action as she laments in the presence of Tosin in the investigating room. A year later, we see successful Tosin giving a speech on the success of his app at a launching party. Distinguished guests are seen having an amazing time at the event. He reads out a speech of what happened to his family a year ago to the guests, and also appreciates his investors and his family, but most importantly, his friend, Derek. Still at the event, Tosin's father hands him a letter from Kemi, who is still in prison. She regrets her actions and wishes she could go back in time to change things. Kemi has been sentenced to 30 years imprisonment and has roughly 28 more years to spend in Kirikiri. In the letter, she humorously tells Tosin to develop an anti-aging app by the time she will be out of prison. The quest to marry a successful suitor, in most cases, has led many individuals, especially ladies, into abusive relationships. Shout out to Lena Films for an amazing piece of both awareness and entertainment.